I recently celebrated my first anniversary as Artistic Director of Louisville Actors Theatre, and I welcome this opportunity to talk just a little bit more about myself and how I got here, and future plans for the theatre as we look forward to the 50th season. As a young man, I worked at the Royal Court Theatre in England. It's the flagship of new writing. I've always been a passionate champion of new writing, of new art forms, and I also worked for a prestigious theatre company called Joint Stock Theatre and carved out my career as a director. I worked with a great writer, her name's Carol Churchill, and through Carol Churchill I was invited for the first time to work in New York at the Public Theatre when I was 29. I thought those kind of things happened all the time, but I'm a little wiser now. And I've had the great fortune of working with some of the greatest writers and some of the greatest actors in the world, including actors like Julianne Moore and Judy Davis. I served as the Associate Artistic Director at Berkeley Rep from 2003 to the end of 11. It's a theatre that has a new commitment to the development of new work, to world premieres, and I had the wonderful opportunity not only direct, but to produce these new plays. I've been a champion of new work all of my life. I'm also very interested in the pairing of classical work with a new voice, of having a contemporary writer look at an old story and say, this story is still relevant to us. These plays have existed for centuries and they're still here. And I did make my Broadway debut the other year with the Vibrator play. And this interest in new work is the reason why I'm here. I had the great good fortune to direct twice at the Humana. This play, Big Love by Charles Mee in 2000, and at The Vanishing Point by Naomi Izuka in 2004. I have to say, both plays helped relaunch my American career. This play in particular was profoundly important to me. It was performed in an abandoned warehouse in Butchertown. It's the coldest working situation I've ever been in. And was about two things: the great Lexington photographer Ralph Meatyard, and also about the local community of Butchertown. And I'm a passionate believer in doing work about the community or the communities that you live in. Both working experiences were wonderful. So when this position came up, I was just thrilled to apply for it. People in the Bay Area particularly asked me about why did you leave the Bay Area. I'm here because of the work. I love the work. I love the people I work with. I knew about the Humana Festival when I was a very young man in London. The theatre and the Humana Festival and Louisville have been known in the British theatre community for decades. It's a theatre that produces locally and has a national and international impact on the theatre world. You know, I think there's some figures coming up about our economic impact. It's a destination theatre, a theatre that theatre professionals around the world admire. It's a world, we all live in a world-class city on a scale that makes living here easy. I think the influx of new artists into this community is extraordinary, and a lot of it is based on the fact that you can live here. You can make work here, and you can have a life that isn't as frenetic or as New York and LA. And that, I think, is going to be crucial, the affordability of living here, to the development of new work in this community. It's there are only 12 cities in this country that have its own theatre, opera, orchestra, and ballet. I think that's extraordinary. And I've always been impressed by the fact that this city values its arts organizations and finds them interesting and exciting. We're now in our 49th season. The 50th is coming up. We have a lot to celebrate. That's what we looked like in 1970. This is what we look like now. We occupy almost one full block of downtown Louisville. We have 5 floors of administrative buildings, office space, rehearsal space on Market Street, and a complex of 3 theatres that also houses a restaurant and parking garage. So the spaces are the Pamela Brown, which seats 639, the Victor Jory, the Bingham, that seats 318, and the Victor Jory that seats 159. So we have 3 wonderful theatre spaces to present the work in. I'm also very proud to say that we have lobby spaces that also double up as an art gallery and for special events. And coming up is this exciting thing. Chef Ed Lee, new venture Milkwood, opens on the 8th. So it's coming up. It's one I've eaten there. The food's terrific. It's described as comfort bar food with an Asian pantry, and that's exactly what it is. It's terrific. So I hope you'll all come to support Chef Ed Lee. It's a wonderful venue. And I think the thing is, I mean, this is obvious, but what we do is we produce live theatre. We don't book in productions usually. All of the work is made. It's made by skilled artisans, craftspeople, by these extraordinary people sitting at this table. Yes, we're a theatre that has national ambitions and a reach to contribute in a substantial way to the theatrical community, but it's also a theatre. It is the Actors Theatre of Louisville, and we're here to serve the local community, and we produce work to a broad audience with a variety of program, including, which I think is hidden because most people are not aware of this, an extraordinary education and outreach program. And this is the impact, I think. The graphic shows, working as a region. We have ticket buyers from most counties in the Commonwealth, 50 Indiana counties, and the education program, I'm enormously proud of this, reaches almost 30,000 students in over 20 Kentucky counties and 10 Indiana counties. I worked for 8 years in the education business at UCSD, and I know the importance of training people and getting young people in to not only see work but participate in how that work is made. Some statistics. We produce twice as many productions as our peers around the country for the same amount of money. And a significant portion of our revenue comes from season tickets. We're a regional theatre. We're part of the original regional theatre movement. And thank you to everyone here who's a season ticket holder. And I hope if you're not, you'll consider joining us. We have holiday shows. It's a broad amount of work. We have holiday shows that I think are hugely important. I think if you ask somebody to name a production they've seen at Actors Theatre, it's either going to be, or it may well be, Dracula, which I think is one of the most unique theatrical performances I've ever seen. I don't know any other theatre that produces that kind of work. These are important annual holiday shows and create, I don't mean to be pretentious about this, I can be pretentious, but this is not, I think they're community rituals. I think people enjoy coming back year after year. It's a way of celebrating the community. I'm endlessly fascinated by the discussions I hear from audience members about how the show has changed, what it means if there's a new actor in it, what new emphasis is there. One of the reasons I'm here was in my interview for the job. I came in a couple of days early. I didn't want to step off a plane from the West Coast and be exhausted. And I also wanted to check that my memories of being in Louisville in 2000 and 2004 reconnected. What was it like here now? Because of this pretentious accent, I can get into conversations with people very rapidly. And a woman who owns a store on Bardstown Road asked me why I was here. I told her, and then we got into a long discussion about Christmas Carol. If you're English, the English don't do Christmas Carol. It's a kind of mystery to us. We do stranger things called pantomimes. But one of the things was talking with her on how extraordinarily important the show was to her and to her family, and that it was a way for her to connect with her family, and she thought it was the greatest story about transformation that she knew, that there's a possibility in human beings that we can change from one thing to another. I'm still trying to persuade her to become a seasoned subscriber, but I've got her in to see 2 shows because theatre's about transformation. All of theatre is a kind of piece of alchemy where you take several things, put them together, and it turns into something else. It's a piece of magic, so she's my long-term project, this woman, to get her to subscribe. And it is, the theatre is affordable. And I really would like to just say that the education department is an extraordinary achievement led by very wonderful staff members who believe that everyone is an artist, students, teachers, that young people belong to Actors Theatre. They take up residences in local schools, make plays. We have a wonderful new Voices festival at the end of the season where teenagers' plays are professionally produced, and that has an enormous impact. And our apprentice intern company is now in its 41st year of actor training. It's one of the nation's most prestigious professional training programs. It's of prime importance in investing in the future of theatre through a commitment to young, emerging professionals. These people will go on and define what theatre is as we progress through the 21st century. There are 22 acting apprentices selected from over 2,000 college graduates, 22 interns. They produce all kinds of work during the season, and I'm very proud of the fact that 2 of the apprentices and interns returned this season. Tony Speciale was an acting apprentice here and returned to direct the first show of my inaugural season, Romeo and Juliet. And Meredith McDonough, who was a directing intern, was a former student of mine at UCSD and is now the new associate director. I think if we're investing time and money in people and they go into the outside world and prove themselves to be strong, imaginative professionals, it's really great that we invite family home. I've been inspired by the community here, that people want to talk about the arts, that the theatres that's important to them, that we tell people stories that engage and celebrate local issues. We celebrate what's unique to Louisville, and we work, that our work engages with not only the audience, but local artists and musicians to create interesting new ways of telling stories. I think the theatre's important. I think as we advance through this technological age where communications are developing at an extraordinary rapid pace, that theatre's one of the few places now where people can go and sit in the dark with people that they don't know and engage with a live event on stage. I think that's crucial. I think every night is unique. I don't think audiences realize how profoundly you affect what's going on stage. It's a live interaction. I think it's educational. We just produced Whipping Man, which I thought was a great play and an educational. Most people didn't know the subject matter that it was talking about, and we're here to, we give entertainment. So stand by to be entertained. How can you play a part in this? Please come. Come and see the shows. Come and see Girlfriend that's currently running, which is a delightful musical with music from the iconic Matthew Sweet album, Girlfriend, from the early 90s. Purchase season tickets. We can offer discounts to employees, contribute to the annual fund, attend the Lobster Feast, rent space from us, and do come to the Humana Festival. The Humana Festival has an extraordinary impact on American culture, on American theatre. It's produced, I think our history, we've introduced more than 400 new plays into the American theatre repertoire. We give fully staged productions. There are many other theatre festivals now throughout the country, but the fact that these are fully staged makes us unique. 3 of our plays have won the Pulitzer Prize, The Gin Game, Dinner with Friends, Crimes of the Heart. All 3 were made into movies, and 16 other plays were Pulitzer finalists. The great thing about attending is that, particularly if you come to the first performance, you will be part of the first people in the world to see this play, and it could go on and make a significant impact. We are heading to our 50th anniversary, so we're embarking on a strategic plan. about where we go from now, how we strengthen what we have, like the Humana Festival with commissioning work, and how we create work specifically for local communities. I think it's leading off my work that I did with At the Vanishing Point. I think if it's a regular part of our season that we talk about local issues, I'm correct in saying this, it'll make us the only regional theatre in the country that does that kind of work. So I'm here, I'm very happy to be here. It's a great city.